Hello again, living creatures. You made it back. Our tale tonight comes from South Carolina, 2015. Sunshine, small towns, people chasing the American dream. And then there's Todd Kohlhepp, a successful real estate agent with a 95-acre property, a smile that could sell houses, and a secret hobby that had nothing to do with gardening. If you like your stories strange, dark, and a little too real, hit subscribe. Go on, if you dare. Johnny and Megan Coxey, 29 and 25 years old, a couple in Spartanburg struggling with drug addiction. They'd lost their child to CPS, spent time in jail, and were barely hanging on. Then, what seemed like a miracle, Todd Kohlhepp, the friendly realtor, offered them work, cleaning buildings on his huge 95-acre plot of land. Money they desperately needed, a chance to turn things around. On December 19, 2015, Megan told her mom about the job. Then she and Johnny drove out. Big fence, long dirt road, deep woods, a property cut off from the world. And somewhere in there, Todd was waiting. Days later, Megan's mom couldn't reach them. Calls unanswered, house empty. She panicked, called police. Todd? He told them the couple had worked, got paid, left. That was it. And with the Coxey's drug history, police assumed the worst, maybe an overdose. Days passed, weeks, months. The case went cold. But it wouldn't stay cold for long. August 31st, 2016. Another couple disappears in Spartanburg. Kayla Brown, 30, Charlie Carver, 32. A fresh couple, only a month together, but things were heating up fast. Charlie had already introduced her to his family. For him, that was huge. These two didn't have any problems like Johnny and Megan. No heavy drugs, no money chaos. Just two people trying to live their lives, but then nothing. No calls, no texts, no, "We're going away for the weekend," just silence. Charlie's father noticed immediately. 2 days passed, still no word. He checked their homes. Empty. Gone. Police started digging into their lives, friends, co-workers, neighbors. Nobody knew a thing. No fights, no sudden plans, no reason to run. The couple had just vanished. 2 months later, investigators finally got a lead. Kayla's phone. The last ping came from inside Todd Kohlhepp's 95-acre property, the same patch of woods where the Coxey couple had disappeared. Coincidence? Please. More like a neon sign that said, "Look here if you want nightmares." So the police did. One team went to Todd's home to ask questions. Another rumbled down that dirt road into his private forest. They broke through the trees and entered a clearing. On the left, a plain old shed. On the right, something much worse, a shipping container. 5 padlocks clamped tight. This wasn't storage. This wasn't normal. This was the kind of box you pray stays closed. But the cops didn't let it hold them back. They cut into it anyway. Sparks flying, metal grinding, the kind of sound that makes your teeth itch. And when that door creaked open, there she was, Kayla Brown, chained by the neck to the wall, wrists locked in cuffs, but alive, barely. Warning: what Kayla told police next is dark, disturbing, and not for the faint of heart. She had been trapped in that container for 65 days. Todd fed her once or twice a day, and every time he showed up, he reminded her. If she resisted, he'd kill her. Not just her, her whole family. So she did what she had to do to survive. She watched Charlie die, 3 bullets to the chest, watched Todd wrap his body in a tarp, dump it in the bucket of a tractor, and then she was locked away, left to wonder if every day would be her last. By the time police cut those chains, Kayla didn't believe rescue was even possible. She thought that box was her coffin. And then, in the worst moment of her life, Kayla thought about others. She begged officers not to let the cadaver dogs into the field. Todd had spread pepper to burn their noses, even after 65 days in hell. She cared about those animals more than herself. 65 days in hell. And she still had more humanity than the man who put her there. While one team of officers was breaking open that shipping container, another was knocking on Todd Kohlhepp's front door. Picture it, Todd, the successful realtor, standing in his neat suburban house, smiling, pretending nothing was wrong. Todd told officers the same story he'd told before. Yes, they worked for me. Yes, they came out to the property, but I paid them and they left. Haven't seen them since. But then the radio crackled. The team in the woods had found Kayla, alive, chained inside his container. The officers looked Todd in the eye and told him straight, "We have Kayla. She's on your property right now, locked in a container. She says you shot and killed Charlie." Todd blinked, smiled, and lied. "No, I didn't shoot anyone. I didn't lock anyone in a box." But the thing about lies, they don't hold up when the truth is walking out of a shipping container in chains. But lies only work when the dead can't speak. And Kayla was speaking. Bit by bit, the mask cracked. Todd admitted what he'd done to Charlie, what he'd done to Kayla. And then, as if it was just another item on a to-do list, he admitted what had happened to Johnny and Megan Coxey. December 2015. Same setup, same promise of work. They drove through the fence down the dirt road into the clearing, just like Kayla and Charlie would 8 months later. Todd shot Johnny almost immediately. No hesitation, no chance. Then he turned to Megan. She fought. She resisted. She wasn't going to play along. Unlike Kayla, who made the impossible calculation to survive, Megan pushed back against every command. And for that, Todd said she was acting like a wild animal. His words, cold, detached, like he wasn't talking about a young woman chained in his box. He was talking about a stray dog, so he killed her. A bullet to the head. 5 days into her captivity. Both Johnny and Megan were buried in shallow graves on Todd's land, right outside the shipping container. While the world searched for them, while their families wondered, Todd had already decided where their story would end. And when police uncovered those graves, the horror was complete. Todd wasn't just a killer, he was a pattern. A routine, a man rehearsing murder like it was business. With Kayla alive, the Coxeys buried, and Charlie dead, Todd was staring down the death penalty. And he knew it. So he tried bargaining. He told investigators, "Take death off the table and I'll give you more bodies." Classic monster move, trading human lives like poker chips. The cops agreed. And Todd started talking. Back in 2003, long before he was a successful realtor, Todd walked into the Superbike Motorsports shop in Chesney, South Carolina. 4 employees inside. Todd claimed they had mocked him for being a lousy rider. A petty insult. Something most people would laugh off. Todd didn't. He came back with a gun, shot all 4 of them, then walked past their body and put another round in each of their heads, cold, efficient, like he was proud of it. And here's the worst part. When Todd bragged to detectives, he actually said they'd be impressed by how quickly he cleared the store, like murder was a skill to be admired. 7 murders confirmed, but Todd hinted at more, told Kayla his body count was in the high 2 digits. Imagine flexing about body counts, like you're keeping score in some sick game. In the end, Todd Kohlhepp was sentenced to 7 consecutive life terms. No parole, no escape, just the rest of his days, rotting behind bars. But the horror didn't stop with the bodies. After his arrest, people discovered his secret Amazon account. Reviews on knives, shovels, chainsaws, padlocks. Some reviews were jokes, if you can call them that, about how well these tools worked for killing, burying, disposing. One review of padlocks even bragged about using 5 of them on a shipping container. You don't need imagination for that one. We've already seen the proof. He called the container like Hotel California. You can check out any time you like, but you can never leave. That's how Todd thought of his victims, not as people, not as lives, just as guests in his twisted hotel. Today, Todd sits in prison, but the full truth? We'll probably never know how many people he actually killed. Kayla heard him claim the high 2 digits, and judging by the way he bragged, the way he smiled while confessing, he probably wasn't lying. And that's the story of Todd Kohlhepp, the real estate agent from hell. 7 lives confirmed, but maybe many more. If you made it this far, you're either brave or just foolish. Either way, you're my kind of people. Go ahead, hit the like button. It won't hurt you much. And if you dare, subscribe so you don't miss the next tale from the grave. If true crime is your thing, I've got a whole playlist waiting for you. Murders, mysteries, the dark corners people try to forget. And if you're curious, check out my other videos. So, brave soul, pick your poison. I'll see you in the next nightmare.